Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
Sorry,
is
guys,
that
just
that
1
Facebook
second.
thing
Yes,
again? Rotate your
Facebook
phone.
Live.
Why are you doing that, bro?
We're frustrated with Facebook Live because it wants you to rotate your phone, and we don't want to rotate our phone because we want to watch it horizontally.
We want it live and wide.
Facebook, get on this.
Yeah. So if the Facebook feed looks weird, we're not really doing it on
sorry,
purpose.
guys.
I think it's just a change in Facebook Live that we haven't figured out yet.
Right.
But,
so bear with us.
Yeah.
But the
We'll do
video,
the best we can.
the video on YouTube will be the correct way. So just be looking for that later if you can't stand to watch us with it the wrong orientation.
The wrong way.
So
Yeah.
anyway, how are y'all doing?
What's up, kids?
It's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We are Skin Therapeutic, and we're here live talking about dry skin today.
That we are.
I think it's a perfect time to talk about it because it is getting colder outside, and we just had our first official cold front come through, which is awesome. Bringing out the hats and the sweaters.
Yeah,
and
the vest.
yes, the vest weather, the best weather of all.
Yeah. Nothing like corny jokes to get it started. I like it.
I'm Kristen, by the way.
Oh, well, hey, Kristen. I'm Brian. Good to see you guys.
He owns the company, and I do.
She takes care of everything else.
Not everything.
Not really everything, but-
It takes a team.
Yep.
But anyway, so we do.
So, yeah, were we talking about dry skin
We
today?
are talking
Yeah,
about
that's what we
It's
are.
the worst intro we've ever
Isn't it,
done,
though?
I'm pretty
I know.
sure.
But we don't care because it's Facebook Live and
Instagram Live
you
as
can and Instagram Live. You can see us all in our imperfections. You should be happy to know that we're not perfect.
Hey, Kim, I see you there.
But let's talk about, one of the questions that people always ask when you start talking about dry skin is, what's the difference between dehydrated skin and dry skin?
Yes.
And there is actually a difference. We've talked about this a little bit on some of our videos, but we'll highlight it real quick. Dehydrated skin is different than dry skin because dehydrated skin is really, its main thing is it just lacks water. And a lot of times you can still produce oil even if you have dehydrated skin. A good way to try to rehydrate skin is pretty obvious, is you need to drink a lot of water. That will help more than anything.
Yeah.
If you can drink more water. It may take a little while though, but it will definitely return to its more supple look, more plump, if you will spend a lot more time drinking water, and avoid some caffeinated beverages and carbonated beverages as well. There's lots of other things that you can do, but really for dehydrated skin, the answer numero uno, that's Spanish for number one, is drink water.
So I shouldn't drink 3 of these a day
You
of
shouldn't
coffee.
drink 3 of these, but hey, cheers to coffee.
Cheers to coffee.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Thank you, Zateo Coffee. That is a very shameless plug for my friends that own that coffee shop, and we love you, John and Trina. Thank you.
Fantastic coffee. Love it. So you talked about dehydrated skin, and I do want to touch on the differences between dehydrated and dry skin, because dry skin is what we're here to talk about today.
Correct.
So dry skin is a lack of oil in the skin, and that is something that is most of the time it's genetic or it's environmental, and basically the thing that you can tell is if you have dry skin, it's typically going to be all over your body. You're going to have dry skin everywhere, and it's going to be skin that easily cracks and is more susceptible to wrinkles because the lack of moisture that's there. So that is what we are trying. It's what we're going to talk about today and give you some solutions and some kind of touch on dry skin in general.
Tips and tricks and whatnot.
Tricks and whatnot. Hey, Marissa. Yes, Zateo Coffee. Praise hands. Love it.
Praise hands.
So, who can get dry skin?
Well, I mean, the short answer is everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody can get it. You are susceptible, and
Yes.
everybody really does.
Everyone
can get it. We can tend to be unprofessional at times, so please forgive us if we do that. But yeah, everybody can be affected. Some people are just more susceptible, and there are some things that can make it worse if you do already have dry skin. So as Kristen mentioned earlier, it can be genetic or environmental. There's a lot of different things that affect it, but the obvious things like living in a dry climate, or using excessive hot water, or just things like aging. Our skin gets thinner as we get older, and it naturally is going to lose moisture quicker. So those are the obvious things. However, I read a very interesting article that interviewed some dermatologists, and this was in Everyday Health. And the title of this article is 7 Surprising Causes of Dry Skin. And so we want to talk about these causes for just a little bit, because I love what these dermatologists had to say in these interviews, were just because some of these causes, but they offered also some ways to combat that, some different things that can relieve it. So why don't you kick us off, Kristen, and give us the first couple or so.
Yeah, the first one that we read about was from Dr. Amy Foreman Taub. I'm going to read this direct quote from the article. She's an assistant clinical professor of dermatology at Northwestern University, and says, fragrance has a tendency to irritate dry skin or make it worse. So avoid skincare products that are filled with fragrance. And the word fragrance is really talking to, we're talking about the stuff that's listed at the very beginning of the ingredients list. So as you may know, the key ingredients are going to be listed more toward the top of ingredient lists. And the further down on it, the less and less of it is in the solution or whatever that you're purchasing. So you definitely want to try to stay away from things that have fragrance at the very beginning of the list or near the top of the list, because it may cause drying. So look for products that have little to no fragrance, or ingredients that are moisturizing.
Exactly. Typically, fragrance should be towards the end, because in fragrance, a little bit goes a long way. You don't need much in any kind of formulation. So if it's up pretty high, then it could very well be irritating.
And one of the most common things is what kind of soap you're using. A lot of soaps have fragrance in them, heavy fragrances and stuff, and so soaps can strip the skin of the moisture that it's just vital. Especially when you have dry skin, you need every ounce of that you can get. So basically, you need to be very cautious of what kind of cleansers you're using. So go gentle. Use like stuff that has botanicals in it. I love that word, botanicals. And so you can look for gentle cleansers.
Seems like you should say it this way. Botanicals.
So look for gentle cleansers is what we're getting at here. So one of the other things is not just the products that you're using, but genetics. So will you lead us into that?
Yes, I will. So here, some of you, if you like to blame your parents for stuff, here's something else you can blame them for. Some sort of this trauma in your skin is actually caused by serious genetic condition that you can inherit. So that's going to be one thing. And then this is Dr. Joshua Zeichner. He's the Director of Cosmetic and Clinical Research in the Dermatology Department at Mount Sinai Medical, awesome. Which is, that's pretty significant. But he recommends ceramides as some good products that you can use to help that skin barrier. And I think we've covered this last time. Ceramides kind of act as mortar between the skin cells, helping hold them together to provide that protective barrier for your skin. So anything with ceramides in it is good. Lipid moisturizers to also reinforce it. And so those are typically going to be oil-based as well with those. So good recommendations, we think.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Another thing that, something that I've personally dealt with before is living in an environment that you have hard water. So I lived in South Texas for a little while whenever I first, moved there. And as, got in the shower, my hair and skin was like, oh, this new environment, new water, it was great and everything. But honestly, a week later, my skin was just craving moisture and my hair was just dry and brittle. It was not okay. So basically, when you have a water that's high concentration of minerals like magnesium, lead, or zinc, those can lead to the film, like this yucky film on your body, and it can cause dryness. It can just leave this yucky on your skin. It's gross. But Dr. Dennis Gross, a dermatologist in New York, says heavy metals turn oils on the skin into a thick substance that plugs glands, aggravates conditions like acne and rosacea, and prevents moisturizers from being absorbed into the skin. Ew, first off.
Right.
So, water filtration systems are what he says that are good to help with, with the hard water, and then products that have vitamin A, vitamin C, and they kind of counteract that water deposits that are left on your skin.
Yep, yeah. We're big fans of Dr. Dennis Gross.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing, so you can trust what he says.
So another thing, I personally deal with acne, and I think a lot of people deal with this too. The kind of water that you have, acne meds and retinol can be affected by or have a different effect on dry skin than it does other skin types. So one of the things is don't give up. on these products. So do not just like toss your retinol or your acne meds or anything like that. One thing, back to the Dr. Taub lady from earlier, she advises to reduce frequency to every other day instead of every day use, and use gentle cleansers. She says, you know, you may even want to have a conversation with your doctor or dermatologist and say, you know, hey, this is really drying out my skin. I'm flaking, or you know, I'm just really tight, dry skin, and we may need to rethink the prescription, the strength of the prescription, because it's just drying me out like crazy. So you can use these products in combination with moisturizing products as well, to kind of offset that drying effect as well. So. Yeah,
which I think that's good too. So another one is dry air, and when I say dry air, I don't just mean the climate that you live in. I also mean the climate in your home, the climate in your workspace. Especially as we're moving into winter right now, so we start cranking up the heat because it gets cold outside.
Absolutely.
And that warm air is just going to suck the moisture right out of the air, which is going to contribute to drier skin. And so if you do already have dry skin, or you're very susceptible to it, then you want to do some things to offset that. Good things, humidifiers very helpful. You can probably have those in your home. I don't know if your employer would let you have those there or not, but I would welcome them.
I appreciate that.
If somebody wanted to have a humidifier here, I think it would be great. We can just open the door sometimes, though, too, because even in the winter we can get humidity
where we're located
in the south here. But that's a big deal. And Dr. Joel Schlesinger, who is a dermatologist in Omaha, Nebraska, he recommends that just keeping some hydrocortisone cream, a very light percentage, like 1%, can be applied if you see signs of chapping or if you see signs of dry skin. That can be applied, and it'll help moisturize, but it helps speed up the healing process as well. So that's a good thing to have kind of in your tools there to combat dry skin and different things. And the last thing that was in this article that is surprising is overwashing. I know that many of us grew up say you've got to wash your face at least twice a day. You know, in the morning and at night. And if you have dry skin, that may not be a good idea. You may need to wait until night and then not rewash it in the morning, because it can contribute, especially if you don't have a water filtration system, or if you're using a harsh cleanser. There are just so many things that you can do that can contribute. But any kind of cleansers or soaps or anything like that, hot water. So the key is that what you want to do, and this is Dr. Taub again, she suggests when you do wash your face, use very lukewarm water, but then apply your moisturizers while the skin is still damp, because when you do put the water on the skin, it does prime it for absorption. So before it dries, if you'll put your moisturizers on there, then it almost acts like a carrier. It will go in better and it'll absorb better if you still have that little bit of moisture on your face.
I do want to say I'm guilty of this, of taking way too hot showers. Like I like the water scalding, and that is terrible for your skin. It is especially is terrible for dry skin types that you already deal with dry skin. This is absolutely a terrible thing for you to do for your skin. So you do want to turn the water on hot and then just crank it down a little bit and kind of get more toward the lukewarm water. So if you have naturally dry skin and you're dry all over, just the more lukewarm the better. And I'm so sorry because it's cold outside and everything, and hot showers are amazing. But and if you just absolutely need to have that hot, that scalding hot shower, then make sure you're immediately putting on hydrators and moisturizers post shower. So I know it's something that we don't typically do questions during this, but I like this question. How do you know if your water is hard or soft? Is there a test strip? I'm pretty sure there's a way to test the water, or you can just contact your water provider, like your water company, and see, where. I'm not really sure what the terminology you would use to ask them, I guess.
Well, I know that they're, whatever your water company is, they have to do testing on the water, so they'll have data that actually shows you the minerals in there. They could probably just answer your question, is this hard or soft water? And then maybe what percentages of the minerals may be in the water, but but they're required to do testing, so they should have that data.
Well, I know that, like when we lived in South Texas, they'd had it's real deserty, lots of sand, lots of, and it's a coastal, we're near the coast, and so you're dealing with salt air and salt water, and then also, just the dry desert, sandy, and so they went through a lot of filtration because of the location. So I think if you're, I think we have softer water, obviously, than what they do in South Texas, and it all depends on your location. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so.
it sure does. And there are, if you do have hard water, I mean, there are things you can buy at Home Depot that will soften the water that you can attach to your shower head. I know we have one of those at our house too. So there are lots of things that you can do. But yeah, find out. I'll just ask your water company and go from there.
Absolutely. So let's move on to how to treat these issues.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really good things that you can do to help treat dry skin without irritating the skin. The American Association of Dermatology has some great tips that are available to anybody, but we'll cover them, just a couple of them. I loved one thing I read on their website. It recommends using products like lactic acid, hyaluronic acid, urea, glycerin, petrolatum, and things that are oil rich. Things that are rich in oils.
Okay, hold on, because I thought that oils mean breakouts. So will you kind of explain that a little more? Because I need you to, I don't want to put oil on my face because I'm prone to breakout, and that's what I've been taught. So can you explain that a little more?
Yes, and I have oily skin, so I have I don't know, oilophobia?
Absolutely.
That's the fear of oil. That is a technical term, so I'm not
trying to
confuse you.
It is not technical or clinical, so.
It is not, but it's something
We're
that I
going
like
with
this. Yes, but here's what I will say. All oils are not created equal. That's the most important thing. So you have different kinds of oils that are terrible to use, but there are some oils that are really, really good for your face. So there's a great resource out there that will tell you, and it's actually called the comedogenic scale for oils and butters.
Ooh.
And this scale actually ranks how likely or unlikely an oil or a butter is to clog your pores, or how comedogenic it is or non-comedogenic.
Okay.
So the scale ranges if it rates like a 2 or lower on the scale, then it's considered non-comedogenic. So anything higher than a 2, you're likely to get a breakout from. So you want to look for things that are lower.
So the word you said, say it again.
Comedogenic.
That means it's congestive, right?
Yes, it's gonna clog the pores.
Yeah, that's not okay. So the higher on the scale, the more likely it is to clog.
Right.
The lower on the scale, it's not as likely to clog. It's more. Correct. It's gonna absorb better. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing that I hear most often, and something that we get all the time, is, I use coconut oil on my face. Stop it now. Just
Please.
Stop it right now.
Yes.
It is so bad for your face.
For your
my
face.
gosh.
It's good for other stuff.
Yeah, it's great for your hair and I think like elbows and stuff like that. Elbows, knees. It is? Is it good for your teeth?
I know people that put it in their
oil
mouths.
pulling. That's right. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Joe Crumb.
Coconut oil is not good for your face. Let me just repeat that. It is not good for your face.
How do you really feel about that?
I'm just so passionate about this because I'm tired of being asked this question. Like, is coconut oil good for? No, it's not good for your face. So the reason why, though, is coconut is solid at room temperature, and it has a ranking of 4 on the scale he just talked about. It is very thick and sits on top of the skin, and so it holds onto bacteria in those dead skin cells and just congests the pore and clogs those pores. So here's another quote from a dermatologist. Dr. Craig Austin explains, when you use coconut oil, you're applying an oil to your skin in combination with bacteria and dead skin cells. The oil essentially aids in clogging the pores. Coconut oil is one of the thicker oils, and the thicker the oil, the harder it is to adequately get absorbed by your skin. So it essentially sits on top of the dermis and forms a film over the pore. Bacteria and skin cells will then fester under the skin and cause your body to produce excess sebum, which can result in acne. Ew. Ew.
Sorry, Jimmy Fallon.
Ew. Disgusting. Don't use coconut oil on your face, please.
That should change your mind right there.
It's so gross.
Yeah,
I can't.
Trapping in that bacteria.
Trapping in bacteria does kills. Yeah.
Now, one thing that Dr. Austin does recommend, and this may be shocking to some of you, is argan oil.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Argan oil, get this, is rated a 0 on the comedogenic scale.
That is so awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
And so that's what I mean by all oils are not created equal. Some can clog, some can't. Yes. We have a fine argan oil right here at Skin Therapeutic. But actually, what I loved about, too, the research on argan oil is it shows it's actually good for people with acne.
Yes.
Especially if you're taking acne products or you're using things to reduce oil. Because what happens is when you're trying to battle acne, then you need to reduce the sebum. You probably produce excess sebum, which causes the bacteria and causes clogged pores. However, your skin still needs oil. Your skin still needs to be hydrated. So what this does is, and what I love about it is that it can actually provide your skin with that oil that you need without being comedogenic, without clogging the pores.
Awesome.
And so that's a great thing about it. There's also a lot of research that shows it's got great antioxidant benefits. It's a vitamin rich oil as well. It helps that protective barrier on the skin, so to fight the free radicals, which is what you want, plus providing those benefits of it. And when you look for an argan oil, the more pure is better. We did a lot of research before we decided to add one to our line, and ours is organic, and it's certified by 2 organic organizations. So EcoCert and Natru, which are very well-known organic product or skincare certification companies, and so this one is certified by both of those, and it's also cold pressed. If you put argan oil through a heat process, then it can reduce the efficacy and what it's able to do. So you want to make sure that it's cold pressed because it stays more pure. Why are you looking at me like that?
Efficacy.
Efficacy, yes. That is a medical word.
What he means is efficiency.
Yeah, how it works, how great it works. Yeah, I used to have a teacher in college that told me, Brian, why would you use a 25-cent word when a nickel or dime word will do the same thing? So that was a lesson in life from college. I still remember that. I can't believe I remember anything from college, but yeah, I just remembered that.
Just right now.
Just right now, in this very moment. Facebook Live.
Awesome.
And Instagram.
Awesome. Well, I love that about argan oil. I love that the certification is really important to a lot of people. Being certified organic, it's important that you can just say you're organic all day long, but until you're certified, it's not really, not really a thing. So, another thing that I like, and this is people that have talked to me before know that I am absolutely crazy about squalene. I freaking love it. It's so awesome, and I use it on a daily basis, if not twice a day.
Right.
And I do want to say something though, because we get this question quite often. Our squalene is the seaweed squalene. It is not the shark liver. Was it shark liver? Is that right? Shark liver.
It's extracted from shark liver, the other kind.
The other kind. We do the vegetarian version.
Yeah, the
so
plant-based.
They're actually spelled differently. So if you're looking at a product and it says that it has squalene in it, the one that is plant-based is spelled squalane, L-A-N-E, and the one that is shark liver is L-E-N-E. So squalene and squalene, but they're spelled different.
Right.
So basically you want to go with the plant-based one so you're not hurting any sharks, you know. So the Derm Review published an Inside article, and this is something that we've recently read and love about this because we have a really great squalene product. It's a super moisturizer, which you've heard us say that before. It aids in reducing uneven skin pigmentation, scars, and age spots.
A lot of benefits.
That's so awesome. And then it acts as an anti-aging ingredient, absorbs quickly, and it helps lessen the appearance of lines and wrinkles because it's hydrating your skin. Right. It's recommended as a protective barrier. Goodness gracious, I can't talk today.
So many consonants and vowels.
Protective. Basically, it just keeps it on your skin and keeps it from evaporating into the air. It provides antioxidants, and it helps correct dry, scaly patches of skin. So it's like a super moisturizer for your skin. It's going to plump. It's going to, make you look younger because you got a nice supple skin, and it's a fantastic oil product for dry skin.
Yeah, it really is. I have oily skin, but I use this because I use some products that help reduce the sebum that my skin produces, but I know that if I don't use moisturizers, which I had to learn this, I used to think I should never use moisturizers, but this is unbelievably good.
Yeah,
and it also is, I don't remember if we said this, but it's also rated 0 on the comedogenic scale.
Oh, that's right, yeah. That's awesome.
It's not going to clog the pores either. So I absolutely love it. I'll even, combine it with the HAB5 or the hyaluronic acid or other moisturizers, because it also, a little bit goes a long way. You just need a couple of drops to add to something. You can put it
So a week, almost a week. So till next Tuesday, we will be doing a 10% off of the argan oil that we carry and the Hydrocell Turnover Booster, which is the squalene product. So these are going to be fantastic hydrators. They're going to set you up and get you some really good products for the dry air that comes with winter. And so your skin will look soft and supple and hydrated. And so basically, how you do that is you punch in a code when you order online. Do you want to tell them the code?
Yeah. So once if you're able to order online and you have an account set up with us already, everything's password protected once you get to this point. But if you do have your professional account set up, when you get to the checkout page, there's a place on there for a discount code. And if you will type in the words "No Dry 10," all caps, so NODRY, and then the number 10, 10. So No Dry 10.
All caps.
All caps. And that will get you the discount on those two products. We also have ongoing discounts on things too. So volume discounts, even if you buy 3 of the same product, then you get a discount.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the volume discounts. I think a lot of people really take advantage of that. Setting up their back bar and stuff like that, retail items and whatnot. And then also we are doing free shipping on $150 orders or more. That there is some stipulations to that, but on most every order it is free shipping over $150. And then we have this big announcement coming next week. We're going to be coming to you earlier in the month since Thanksgiving is the week after. So we're going to be doing another Facebook Live next week. We're going to be talking about basically like the intake and consultation procedure, I guess you can say, or
process. Whenever that first meeting with a new client or any kind of client and evaluating their skin and what needs to be happening, what needs to be talked about. It's very important to us, especially if you're doing chemical peels. So it's critical, actually.
Absolutely. It's absolutely critical. So we're going to be talking about that process next week. We're going to be same place, same time, 11 a.m. Central Time next Wednesday.
Exactly.
Hopefully by then you have gotten all the argan oil and squalene that you can possibly soak into your skin with the discount No Dry 10. So if you have any questions, you can give us a call or you can email us. It's info@360therapeutics.com. If you do not have a professional account with us and you would like to sign up, you can go to our website, which is skintherapeutic.com. Click the link there that says request a new professional account and we will get in touch with you. So
sounds good.
Thank you for joining us. It was awesome. I think this was a really good one. The dry skin.
Yeah.
I think this is
I think it was great, and I can't wait to see everybody glowing out there and fully moisturized. It's going to be awesome.
Fully hydrated. That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.